Hey, this is Russ. Yeah, I hadn't made a recording in almost a week. Yeah, now you guys have seen the recordings. I mean, you saw the release of the deer, and then you probably saw the Lamacal video with the cell phone mount, right? Well, these things were pre-recorded. I actually had them all done beforehand. So yeah, I actually had not recorded anything in 1 week, and I was getting anxious. Can you believe that? A lot of times, a lot of people say, "Oh no, I got to make another video." No, I was kind of anxious. I was like, "What? I got to get out there and put a video out." So, yeah. So today's the day. I'm gonna record some videos for you guys. So, a lot of things have happened since the release of the deer. Release of the deer. Yeah, the deer came out from Magicycle. That's their full suspension model. So if you hadn't seen that video, you can watch my video, or you can watch the product launch from Magicycle. Yeah, let me talk about the product launch. Yeah, they told me that, hey, the product launch is coming out. When did it come out? February 2nd at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So they asked me to watch. So of course I watched, right? And I saw a bunch of the Magicycle influencers on there as well. But the funny part is that when they actually popped my head up on that product launch, a lot of people started typing in, "Hey, it's Russ." I think one of you guys actually said that, shy of the deer being the big thing of the day, says you were the next big thing of the day. Yeah, it's kind of funny, but yeah, I noticed that too. When my head popped up, a number of you guys started going, "Hey, it's Russ, it's Russ." Yeah, I was there. I was watching it too. You can still watch that. They put it out as a separate video so that you can see the product launch itself, and then of course I'm still on there, so you can see that if you haven't seen it. I'll put a link in the description if you want to watch it. I think I come in at about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, something like that, in that time area. So you can watch me on that if you hadn't seen it. So what is new? Well, a lot of new stuff have happened this past week. Now, we know that spring is right around the corner. Yeah, right. We got snow this past week. Yeah, we had quite a bit of snow. And today it's -2 degrees outside, right? So am I riding any bikes soon? And the answer is no way. I'm not going out there at -2 degrees with snow. So anyway, so I have to finish off the review of the deer. I know a number of the other guys have already done some deeper videos about the deer. So if you're interested in finding out what they had to say, search around. You can find the reviews of the deer there. But if you want to hear my comments of the deer, you're going to have to wait a little bit because it's too cold. It's too cold here, and I'm not going out on snow, as you know. So they know that I'm going to wait a little bit before I do it. That's fine. I mean, there's enough other videos you can watch. But if like I said, if you want to watch mine, you have to wait a little bit. Now, that review has to be done. And as you know, the KBO Ranger that was sent to me right before all the snow started happening, that's the cargo bike. I still need to do a range test on that one. So that's essentially 2 bikes that have to be reviewed at this point. And then I got contacted by another company. Yeah, they're starting to come in. And they asked me if I was interested in their bike. Now, I won't reveal which company this is. And if you see me licking my lips every now and then, it's because I'm drying out. It's really dry here. So yeah, anyway, they sent me correspondence saying, would you be interested in reviewing our bike? Now, this is a brand that I had heard of before, and I had never thought that they would ever offer me one of these things because this is not an inexpensive bike. I will tell you right off the bat. What does their bikes run for? Okay, if you bought their bike stock, like if you didn't put anything special on it, you're probably looking at bikes that are, I'm going to say, $1,500-$1,600, which is not unusual, to maybe $2,300-$2,400. Okay, not bad. Yeah, not bad. But if you customize their bikes and you put stuff on it, it starts getting kind of expensive. And as you know, I like my range. I like certain things on my bike. So I took a look at the product offering, and then I started saying, okay, well, I would like this on it, and I would like this on it, and I would like this on it. Then I added it all up, and yeah, this bike is not inexpensive. Yeah, we're nearing $6,000. So I said, there's no way they would give me all the stuff that I would want, you know, because I think a lot of you guys know that I usually ask for 2 batteries, right? And now it's gotten to the point where you guys have asked me if the second batteries are coming, because you know that's what I need. It's not that I want the second battery because I just want a second battery. I use that second battery. I'm a bigger guy, and so I tend to use up the battery faster than you guys might if you're less heavy as than me, right? And so the battery range is kind of important for me. So I went back to them and I just said, look, the stuff that I want is a lot. Can I get this stuff? And they said, sure, get whatever you like. So I said, all right. So I was looking through the offerings and I said, which model would I be interested in? Because they basically gave me carte blanche. They said, get whatever you think fits you best and we'll get it out to you. So I first was looking at one model, and it is their more expensive model. And I just kind of said, this would be cool to have this. But then I looked at it and I said, you know what? A lot of my bikes are kind of similar to this type of design. So I said, maybe if I'm going to go with this company, I should get something that's a little different. Yeah, I mean, why bring in something that you already kind of have, right? I mean, granted, it is a better version of it, all right? But it's similar to the other ones. I says, why not get something that's totally different? So I started designing it and said, I want this, I want that, I want this. Yeah, it's still close to $6,000. No matter how I did it, it still came out to that much. So I said, this is the stuff that I'm interested in. What do you think? They said, yeah, no problem. So yeah, we're going to get a fairly expensive bike coming in. Now, even though that bike's coming in, it's going to be pretty hefty in terms of dollars. I kept thinking, will my viewers really buy something this expensive? And I think you would. Yeah, I know that a number of you guys are looking for quality. You're looking for customizations. You're looking for add this, add that, like I do. I think you would. Yeah, so it makes sense for me to get one of their bikes. And so I'm excited for that coming in. They are building it now for me. I think she said something like 2 to 3 weeks. It's usually how long it takes to do a customization for you. So I will be waiting for that bike. Now, they know for a fact that I can't go out and ride because it's -2 degrees out here. I said it's going to be spring. They said that's fine. So we got that coming in too. So now we've got 3 bikes that have to do reviews. The last time we had something like this was at the end of the fall season when all these bikes were coming in and I had to do reviews. I felt overwhelmed, quite frankly, like I had to just pump them out. But I'm going to take my time and do it right this time through, and they're just going to have to wait. I think that's really what's going to have to happen. I mean, what's the point of putting out a review if it's not a good review, right? As far as a complete review, I mean, right? So, yeah, so I just told everybody, I says, look, it's going to take a while, and they said, that's fine. So I'm happy with that because it tells me that they're willing to wait for a Russ is Right review. So good. And yeah, the company didn't tell me that I had to do anything. They just said, we just want an honest review from you as to what your actual thoughts are of our product. I like that. I don't like to be told what I got to do, okay? And a couple of companies have told me in the past what I got to do, and I'm not appreciative of that. Some of them I've just turned down after they told me what I have to do. So, yeah, so what we got? We got that new bike coming in. We got the Magicycle Deer. We've got the KBO Ranger to do, so that's 3. Yeah, we're back at the same boat as we were at the end of fall. So now, do I stop at this point? Don't take any more in? I don't know. I mean, if a manufacturer is one that I would really like to work with, I would probably take it in. But I think they're going to be lined up now at this point. I'm going to basically tell them, look, this is going to be pushed off. And if you still want to send it to me, you're welcome to send it, and then we'll deal with it. But again, I won't take it in unless I think that bike or that company has something to offer. Now, let me tell you a little bit about these bike companies as they've been offering it to me. Somebody had asked me recently, how many bikes have I turned down? And I don't know the exact number, but I'm going to guesstimate about 18 or more. Yeah, I've turned down that many. I mean, a lot of bikes came in for me, but I've turned down just as many. So a lot of them I just don't answer because I can tell that the company hasn't even seen any of my videos. They don't even know what I do, okay? I don't really want to work with companies like that. I want to work with companies who have actually kind of seen some of my videos and know how I deal with things and what my audience basically is. And so if they have done that, or if something I think that my audience is interested in, I'll take it in. But otherwise, yeah, I'm going to turn it down. So I've turned down a lot of bikes. Yeah, I would say at least 18 or more. Just this week I turned down 2. So, okay, when I turn them down, a lot of times I just don't even answer them. Yeah, because I can kind of tell. I mean, there are so many e-bike companies out there right now that they're trying to get their products into the marketplace, but you can kind of tell some of them are kind of like generic bikes that, it really looks like they got them off of, some some website or something, bought a bunch of them and had the company slap their name on it or something like that, and then they're an e-bike company. I don't want to represent products like that. I want to represent products that have, at least some I don't know, the company has some substance is what I'm basically saying. So they actually have something to offer, not just like a generic thing that everybody's selling, right? And we're always fearful of the batteries and things like that too. So I mean, I'm being picky, I know, but I think it's important to be picky. And then you as a consumer, you need to be picky too, right? Don't just take anything that's out there. Do a little bit of research, watch my videos, watch a couple other people's videos, find out what people are saying about it and if there's been any problems with it. That's all I'm saying, okay? So that's what's happening. Now, you may also be asking, if you're taking in all these bikes, you told us that something's got to go if something comes in. That's true. Something's got to go. So yeah, I'm selling off some bikes. So if you made it this far in the video, all right, let me tell you about some of the bikes I'm going to sell off, okay? Now, as I said before in the past, I'm not shipping any of these bikes. I don't want to pay for the shipping. It's pretty expensive to ship big, heavy things like this. I don't have the boxes anymore. I can't ship it. So if you want one of my bikes, you're going to have to come get it, all right? And I'm in the northern suburbs of Chicago, as you know. So if you know the Chicago area, I'm in the northern part of Chicago, in the suburbs. So that's where you're going to have to come and get it if you want it. So what are we selling off? Drum roll. All right, first bike we're going to sell off, Rad Rover 5. Yes, my first e-bike is going to be sold off, the Rad Rover 5. Now, the Rad Rover 5, as you may know, I had modified the bike by putting a bigger battery into it. I put in the bike comes with a 48 volt, 14 amp hour battery. Well, I took that off. That's the Rad Power Bikes battery. You can buy another one of those if you want. And I still have the cradle for it, so you can turn it back into the original if you wanted to. It's not hard to do. And I can show you how to do it. I still have the cradle. So if you want to make it back into the original, what do you call it? The original, the original form, okay? Yeah, see, when you can't come up with a word, you got to come up with another word. You can still do it. You just buy their battery and stick it on there, okay? Or buy a used battery from them or something and stick it on there. Buy it from somebody. Anyway, I still have the cradle, but I'm going to give the Unit Pack Power 52 volt, 20 amp hour battery with this bike. So you're going to have that big triangle battery inside the triangle of the bike. Okay, I'm not going to put the other one in because, as you know, I have 2 of those triangle batteries. I'm keeping the second battery because I use that for my Area 13 Blackbird bike. I put that on the back rack so that I can go farther with that bike. But I kept thinking about it, and I said, I've kept the Rad Rover 5 because it gives me distance. With 2 of those 20 amp hour batteries, I was doing those 60 plus mile rides, and for me, I'm a heavy guy, with no problem. I have plenty of range. I still have more to go, and I was doing 60 plus miles with it. So I'm going to keep the second battery, okay? But you're going to get the one that goes into the triangle itself. It has a front basket, and it has the rear rack. So these things are extra things that you have to pay for from Rad to get. They don't usually give you the racks. You have to buy a rear rack. You have to buy a front basket. So I have those in there. I'm going to put back the original seat, okay? So the saddle that I have on there where the Bikeroo, I'm going to take that saddle back off because I like that one. So I'm going to put back the original saddle on there. So If you're interested in that bike, contact me for that one, okay? All right, I'll tell you the prices in a bit, okay? So that's one that's going to go. And mileage, it has about a little over 3,000 something miles on it. Just under, I don't know, 3,100, something like that. I don't know. I didn't check it, but it's something like that, okay? The Rad Mini Step Through 2. This is my wife's bike, right? It has about 195 miles on it, so it's relatively new. She doesn't really ride it that much. She's been taking the Magicycle Ocelot Pro to ride mostly now. So we kind of thought about it and said, we need space. Something's going to go. And she says, I don't need to have lots of bikes. If I'm riding the Ocelot Pro, then that's my bike, right? So she doesn't really need the Mini Step Through 2. Now, this one's kind of nice because the Rad Expand 5, is that 5? I don't know I guess that's what they call it. Took over the Mini Step Through 2, but it doesn't have suspension and all that stuff. This one has the front forks of suspension, and we have a front basket for that too. Okay, and this has the original Rad configuration. So the Rad saddles on it, the Rad batteries on it. So yeah, everything's been maintained. So it's about 195 miles on it. So it's not bad. Actually, that's a really good one to consider. So that's going to go. And then finally, the Vanpowers Mana Day is going to go. Now, I feel really sad for losing this bike, right? It has the best welding of all the bikes that I have. It's got smooth welds. You don't see those weld marks or anything. It's done well. And it's got a better derailleur on it. And it's got the Shimano trigger shifters too. So what does it have? Like 85 Newton meters of torque. I mean, it has just as much torque as the Magicycles. So this bike, I think, was something like 1995 or 1999 normally. But yeah, I don't have two batteries for it. So I mean, you could buy your own if you want to buy a second battery, but Vanpowers never supplied me a second battery, so I could only ride it locally. And as you know, with the double batteries, I can go farther. So I've been asking the manufacturers to give me two batteries. As you know, I didn't feel like asking Vanpowers for a second battery on this thing. I didn't think it was fair for them at the time because they were still coming into the marketplace and getting their name out there with this new bike. And I had asked them for fenders, but again, they did not supply me this fenders, even though they said that they would. I'm still waiting for it. So I just said, look, I'm not going to wait any longer. Now, you could buy fenders for it if you want. Okay, if you go on their website, you can buy the fenders if you want. But this one, as it comes, they normally don't have fenders, so it does not have the fenders. But very few miles on it. Does it even have 100 miles on it? I don't know. It's pretty low. Okay. I may not even have 100 miles on it. I haven't checked it, but it's way down there. I didn't get a chance to ride it as often as I would like to because, again, like I said, I'm limited with that. So, again, everything else is pretty much stock, all right? So these bikes, they're not going to have the mirrors on there. All the stuff that I put on there, I'm going to take off of there. So it's going to be the stock versions of that bike, these bikes. So how much are they? $1,200. Yeah. You can take your choice of which one that you want of these three. $1,200. Whichever of the threes you want. Now, if you're interested in these bikes, send me an email at contactrussisright@gmail.com, and we'll communicate that way and make arrangements. You will have to come up to the northern suburbs of Chicago. I'll tell you where to meet. We will meet in front of the police station, okay? That they have an internet exchange area in my local area for that purpose. So you feel safer when you're in front of the police department versus meeting someone at their house. And for me, too, I feel safer that way, too. Cash sale only, all sales final. Once you take it, it's yours. Okay, you will need to be able to transport it. So these are big bikes. Okay, so you'll either need a bike rack to bring it back, or you're gonna need a pickup truck. You can hang the wheel over the edge of it, whatever way you need to get it out of here. But they're big. If you don't have the ability to stick it into like a van, a minivan probably won't even fit it because these are big bikes, unless you take the front wheels off and then slide it in somehow. Which you can do, okay? So it's not impossible to do that. But just forewarning you, you need some way of transporting it back if you want these bikes. So contact me if you're interested in these bikes. All right, that's all I have for you guys for today. Those are the three bikes that are going to go away to get room for the new bikes that are coming in. Anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys next time.